So I wanted to make a quick video about this Anbernic RG353M that I just received yesterday. Plenty of videos out on YouTube doing a deep dive, breaking down everything about the external hardware, the internal software hardware as well. This video is not going to get into that. I'm just going to talk about a couple things. First impressions, really, at the end of the day, this is like a 24-hour first impression. I may follow up with a longer term video later on, but first thing I want to cover is what is this thing? Well, it's interesting. I've been telling a lot of my friends about it. The way I've been describing it is just your portable emulator device. If you know about emulators, you know, obviously if you're watching this video, you know about emulators, but it's a portable emulating device. You can carry everything from Game Boy, Atari systems, all the way up to PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast. So this one will play Dreamcast, PSP as well, pretty well. The games I've been playing have been running at full 60 frames, so pretty powerful device. But this is just a really well built portable emulator device. Talking about the build quality here, this is the RG353M. I believe the M stands for metallic. Really good build, full aluminum. This is in the deep purple color. I really like this color in a really good light. Looks really vibrant purple, but in slightly darker settings, it does look a little bit more like dark navy, maybe even black or gray sometimes. So really, really great color. Love the look and feel of this thing. Build quality again, super top notch. All the buttons, tactile L and R buttons. The face buttons here have a nice tactile feel to it. A little bit mushy, but not too mushy. So really great feeling. The Joy-Cons here are Hall effect Joy-Con, so not your typical Nintendo Switch controller where you're going to get stick drift over time. These are magnetic sensors, so you will never have stick drift. Overall, again, really good build quality, dual speakers on the bottom here, dual SD card readers, full metal, minus the plastic piece here, which needs to be plastic because the wireless receiver here is back here and you don't want it to be metallic. So really, really thoughtful design, really smart in my opinion. So the connection here is really good for Wi-Fi. Overall, again, really good build quality, nice little rubber, I guess fabric here so that it doesn't slide around on the table. But all the buttons work really well, super satisfying tactile feel where it needs to be, and then good feeling controls on the face buttons. So why did I choose this particular device? Well, I wanted something that's pocketable, so this is a really great size. It's just obviously slightly larger, maybe about the size of my hand, so which means that it's going to fit into my pockets. It's going to fit into the sleeve of a backpack, a sling. So this is really portable. So I chose this because I wanted something portable. I have a Nintendo Switch OLED. Quite frankly, that's a little bit too large to carry on a day-to-day basis. So I don't think that was the system for me. I like playing it around the house from room to room, but it's hard for me to bring that out onto the subway. I live in New York City, so it's hard for me to bring that out into the subway, take it out of its case, unzip it, play it for however long I'm on the subway, maybe up to 30 minutes, and then zip it back up. I don't necessarily feel safe with it on the train, but this, because it's in my hands like this is a great feeling device, and it fits, slips in and out of my pocket. So this is a really, really great size device, so that's why I chose it. Also, the full metal build, I wanted to make sure I got something of heft. I don't like when things are like super light and plasticky and flexes and bends. This is not bending at all. This is super high quality metallic hardware, so that's why I chose this device. So what's the OS on it? So I'll fire this up. I got rid of the stock Anbernic operating system the moment I got it. I installed the ArkOS. As you can see here, you've done your research on this, you know that ArkOS is one of two operating systems really at the end of the day that is preferred by most people. The other one is Gel OS, which people have been calling it Jealous. That's great too, but I just chose ArkOS just because I thought there was better documentation on this. And so yeah, I chose ArkOS. This thing is an absolute beast. The thing that I did here was I flashed it. The flashing process was extremely, extremely easy and fast. You literally put this in sleep mode. You literally take one of these cards out, put it into an SD card reader in your computer. You flash the operating system onto the card, stick it in, power it up, and then it installs the operating system. And then you put in a second SD card that's blank, and then you go into the settings here. I'll open this up. You go into the settings, advanced, and then you can choose to let the second device or second card read. Here it is. Switch to main SD for ROMs. There's an option here that says switch to secondary SD for ROMs, and then that's it. And then it creates all the folders on the secondary SD card for all your ROMs to go into. You plug it into your computer, or you do a wireless FTP and you wirelessly transfer all the games to this device. So thing is amazing. I love like how simple it is. Like for somebody that's not super tech savvy, that doesn't have a Linux device, a gaming PC. I have a Mac laptop, so this thing was super simple to set up, and it was just I couldn't believe how easy it was. Um, Getting into what games are on here. So a couple systems I have on here. I have Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Dreamcast, PlayStation, and PSP. This thing came with what was it like 6,400 games or whatnot, but that was just way too many games. I struggle with decision fatigue, and with those many games, I just figured like I wasn't going to play any of it. So I loaded up the games that I would realistically play myself. And these are the games that I have. I added a couple favorites here. These are the ones that I'm going to go through in the coming weeks. But look how like clean this setup is. Like when you go to a game, the scraper tool scraped the box art, the screenshot of the box art, and then it also downloaded a video, a sample video of it, of the game itself. And so this is super sleek. Castlevania Aria of Sorrows is another GBA game that I remember playing as a kid. Really, really enjoyed the heck out of that game. So wanted to obviously get that game back. So I have that. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, never played it, but supposedly one of the greatest games ever made. So really excited to get my hands on this guy. Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, really love this game on the PSP. I can't believe a system of this size is powerful enough to play this, but here it is running 60 frames, and I'll play it a little bit later, but it's crazy. And then Dragon Ball Z again, kind of going off the Goku's Legacy 1 and 2. This is Boost Fury and Dragon Ball GT Transformation. Final Fantasy VI, this is the SNES version. I want to stay true to the game and the way it was made and should be played. So this is the SNES version that I'll eventually get to. Gran Turismo, just feel like a portable gaming device like this. Racing games are super like fun to play, and so I have the arcade version. Um, this is the simulation version of the game, but there's also the arcade version that I have in the other folders. This is Pokemon Unbound. This is the GBA ROM hack. So another thing I discovered while researching these systems is the world of ROM hacks. It's insane what people are doing um, for free, right? They're taking the first gen all the way through fifth gen and then making changes to the game to create a completely different story, adding quality of life changes to the game, and creating something completely different. This, from what I've researched, is quote unquote the best ROM hack Pokemon game to play. So I'm excited to get into this one. Obviously, I already have a backlog of games, but these are all games that I can pick up and play. And because this thing is so portable, I can take it anywhere with me and get a decent amount of playtime. So excited to get into this one. Zelda Minish Cap, obviously a classic. I don't know if I need to go into this, but classic GBA game that I really want to get into. I played it on my emulator on the computer many years ago, but never got really far. So excited to dig into this game as well. And then PlayStation 1 Vagrant Story. Never played this before actually, but you know, a friend recommended it. Seems like it's got great reviews. And again, the fact that I can play this on the go, it kind of reminds me of Legend of Dragoon meets Fallout meets Final Fantasy. So really cool stuff. So excited to get into this one. And those are it. Those are my favorites. But again, Super Nintendo, you can see all the games that I have installed on here: Mega Man, Classic, NBA Jam, Secret of Mana, Spider-Man games, Super Mario, Metroid. So getting into these, this I should add to my favorites, but Super Metroid Redux, this is a ROM hack, takes the Super Metroid, classic Super Metroid game, and it adds a bunch of quality of life changes to make it a little bit better. I'm hearing that Redux remains true to the original story and only adds a couple of features, so I'm really excited to get into this because I never played Super Metro, the original game. So really cool stuff. But yeah, a lot of great games. Nintendo 64, that's 1080 surfing. This is a classic game, so must have there. But yeah, those are kind of the games I have on here. Now I'll get into the RetroArch theme that I'm using. So again, really easy UI and everything easy to get to. Go into UI settings. The theme I'm using is the ArkOS Carbon. I think this is just the cleanest look. The configurations I have mostly automatic US. The system view is legacy, and then the system background is random images from the games itself. But this is what that theme is. It's showing just like a classic vertical layout. It's showing the system in the middle. Not sure if it's too difficult to see that. Yeah, it's not zooming in there, but if you go over the systems, the background screenshots are of the actual games that I have on the system. Dreamcast, PlayStation, that's the Gran Turismo game. PSP, Burnout. My favorites are Aria of Sorrows, other Super Nintendo games. And it does kind of change every time I go over it. So that's changed now. 64 changes every time. So really cool theme from RetroArch there. What's the game I'm playing? I kind of go over it. I kind of went over it, but Legacy of Goku right now is the one that I started yesterday. Just a really fun, simple game that I can pick up. Really like Dragon Ball Z, so wanted to get right into it, but this is what I'm currently playing. And then wanted to touch on how I'm carrying this around. So I purchased this guy. I'll leave a link to it in the description, but I believe this is Retro. something. I'll put the description, but it's just a neoprene sleeve. I had something like this when I was a kid for my Game Boy Color, and I knew I wanted something similar because I didn't want anything fully zip. I didn't want a hard shell case. This thing's already freaking bomb-proof considering it's made of full aluminum. And I knew I just wanted something I can slip in and out. So this thing has been really great. Like it just slips in, and then this guy covers it up, and that's it. That's all I really need. I can slip it in and out of my pocket because it's really soft. I can slip it into a little pouch or a section in my backpack, but it's like, I mean, it does add a little bit protection because it's soft and squishy for the device itself. Not too concerned about the Joy-Cons here with the getting stick drift because it is kind of low profile enough, but also these are Hall effects. It's all magnetic, so not going to have any major issues with that. But yeah, this is the carrying case. It was about $15 and about $5 shipping, so really, really happy with this case and the setup here. So what's my day-to-day usage look like? Obviously, I only got it about a day ago, but um, I like taking walks to the park, hanging out around the city. I'll find a random bar to go to grab a drink while I'm waiting for friends. And this will just be my companion whenever I go out. It's again small enough to fit into my pocket, so why not just take it with me everywhere I can and everywhere I go, especially taking the subways. If I go anywhere more than 20, 30 minutes, I think it's perfect to pick up, play a little Mega Man, play a little Dragon Ball, play a couple races of Gran Turismo on the train. Super fun. Like, I mean, who wouldn't want that? So that's kind of what my usage looks like from a day-to-day standpoint. So that's kind of the video. I mean, one last thing I'll talk about is like what's next. I mean, at this point, I think I've set up everything that I kind of needed to set up on this device itself. It plays all the games that I want. I actually took off the thousands of games that it came with and the thousands of ROMs that I found as a starter pack. Again, there's um, too many games to even think about playing. I'm not going to play it. So I'm only playing the games that I want to play. And so on the device itself, I have a 16 gigabyte memory card up running the operating system and a 64 gigabyte card with all my ROMs. I think all together, I have maybe close to 80 games installed on the device, and it's taking up just about 3 gigs. And most of the storage there is from the PlayStation 1 games. Legend of Dragoon, I think, is the one that's taking up the most amount of space. I believe that's about 3 gigs in total. But yeah, what's next is I'm gonna play the heck out of this thing. I don't want to get lost in like making changes constantly, downloading new themes, downloading new ROMs and not playing it. I want to actually use this thing. And so I plan on taking it with me everywhere I go and then using it. So yeah, I hope that video is helpful. I know I personally looked up RG353M on YouTube for like 2.5 weeks while I was researching this, hoping to see new videos of people getting their devices and what they think. But it seems like the device came out about 6 months ago, and most of the videos were from about 6 to 5 months ago. And it's been pretty consistent. Everyone loves their device. Everybody on the subreddits loving this device as well. And so, yeah, I thought I would just share how I feel about it. Having a good time so far. It's only been 24 hours. But yeah, excited to get this thing going and continue to play this thing. And yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.